All right, so thinking about our startup as a funnel again and looking at the sales component of the business. So we've got leads flowing in, or maybe you've got some amount of leads. Sometimes in the earliest stages, there is no difference between these two functions. It's all the same person, right? It's whoever the business co-founder is, or something like that. So some of this, what we call marketing, or what I'm labeling as marketing here to get things into sales, is literally, it's kind of a salesy function. It's cold calling, it's directly messaging customers, it's doing all of those things. I still consider that the marketing aspect of the funnel, because you're just trying to get any interest at all. Like you're trying to get folks to even talk to you. When they start talking to you or looking at your product, that's when I feel like you get into the sales, the sales part of the funnel and the sales motion. The key question for me here has always been how many meetings does it take to get to a close? So meetings to close. And so essentially, how long is that sales cycle? The ideal, of course, is that it's just one and done, right? Like you literally get on the call with folks, you're doing the demo, you're getting good engagement, and there's of course lots that we could talk about how to do that right. But assuming that you've got a good cadence and you're learning from the customer what their needs are, you're orienting to that, you're doing all those things right. Can you get it across the finish line in one meeting? So that's, again, in terms of a gold standard. And this is something that I have seen this achieved in my last business, even in the current business. Is it common? Is it often the case? With Fraction, I would say there's a little bit more education. So we're more in that 2 to 3 meetings kind of a cycle. But you can sometimes get the one meeting to close. So again, one meeting to close, that's the gold standard. If I could spell, that's the gold standard. And this would hold true for products that are, let's say B2B products that are a couple hundred a month, maybe up to as high as 1,000 a month. This is possible. Does it make it probable in every case? No. As you start to get higher, it gets harder. But it is possible. And engineering your kind of pitch and getting used to that idea of engaging with the customer in a way that makes this possible is key. Part of that is making it easy to buy. It blows my mind how many companies actually make it difficult to buy. So are you in a position where if you're having a really good conversation, and I've literally seen SaaS startups that can't do this, are you in a position to take their credit card, to have them not just take their credit card. I don't mean take their credit card and you run it or something, but to watch the screen while they sign up, or to basically have them sign up, to send them a sign up link, and that creates their account. Is all of that automated? Because if it's not, how are you supposed to close in one meeting, or even maybe in 2 meetings? If you're in the position where you're sending contracts and doing all of that, and you're trying to, have a product, or particularly a software product business, that ain't working. And so this, to me, is the gold standard, is how efficient can you make this process, because whatever you're getting in from marketing, the quicker you can turn that, the better. This is ideal, but as you get to larger businesses, maybe, or larger kind of price points, say in the 4 digits per month, then maybe it's 2 to 3 meetings. So 1 meeting to close, for, let's say, again, I'll use the $300 a month product. And then 2 to 3 to close. This might be for a, 1K to 5K product, something like that. Maybe that's being too aggressive, but maybe this is a 1K to 2K product. And then you're getting larger, particularly if you're talking about software or product sales, where maybe you're talking about something that gets closer to enterprise. Enterprise is tough because it can take months, right? And here I'm defining enterprise as essentially a 6-figure per year type of an engagement. So there, 6-figure and up. And so at that level, maybe that's a 6-month timeline to get to a close. Sometimes it's longer, but for enterprise, the real question for me in terms of the sales aspect is material progress. So can you identify a sales process that is not just endless talking in circles, that is not just like meeting this person and then meeting that person, but you're actually making material progress through the enterprise buyer's sort of purchasing process, because they have like 72 steps. And one of the things you need to know is like, are you on step 59 or are you on step 3? And so actually making progress through that funnel and working with your champions and everybody that you have to work with to make that happen, that's all you can do in enterprise, because you ain't doing it in 2 to 3 meetings. If you do, that's incredible. Sometimes you can by selling the enterprise a smaller starting point, which is, a good way to sort of flip it into making material progress. But the 6-figure closes are rare that way. At any rate, this I think is one of the key metrics for sales. Of course, the close rate and stuff like that matters too. But in a certain sense, as long as the close rate is non-zero, and is somewhat reasonable, then the actual velocity can matter more, because this determines the overall expense of this stage in the cycle. Like, are you wasting a week of a person's time to get a close, meaning a week of a salesperson's time to get a close, or are they able to do it in an hour? And so that is a key metric to keep track of.